Ooh, yakety mac.
Hello guys, Jeff here at Yakety Mac. I appreciate you watching the video. So I'm on a fishing mission today. I am scouting some new water for a tournament that I have coming up here in 1 week. And man, I've got a couple of challenges ahead of me. Well, for starters, the first challenge is I suck. So I got to try to overcome that. But really, this is very, very unique water. Let me show you the map that I'm dealing with here. So this roadway right through here is where we're launching from. And then of course, south of this roadway is the Mobile Bay. Now that is fed from the south by the Gulf of Mexico. So quite a bit of salt content there. To the north of this road, we've got several river systems that coming down from the north, Tennesaw River, Blakely River, I think the Mobile River, all kind of emptying into this area. And of course, a lot of basins and creeks and so forth also feeding this area. So it's very, very brackish. And the terrain seems to be like a lot of grass, not a lot of wood. My thinking, and I don't know if this is flawed thinking or not, but my thinking is I want to try to go as far north as possible and get into as fresh water as possible. I know that bass can and do thrive in brackish water, but my thinking, and again, correct me if you know something different, is that if there's a freshwater source nearby, that they will gravitate more towards that. At least that seems to make sense in my head. So I'm heading up the Blakely River right now, and boy, this is quite a pedal. I've been pedaling for a good 20-25 minutes already, and so I'm going to see what I can find, see if I can produce anything out of this at all. You know, I got a lot of really good advice on my last video where I talk about my struggles and finding and catching bass. And so one of the things I'm going to work on today is trying to fish structure that I can't see, cover that I can't see. Now, I've never really done that before, in part because I can't see it. so I don't know where it's at. So I'm really going to rely on my depth finder today to try to notice some changes in the bottom to see if that can put me on a potential fish holding spot. You know, this is, I think in a couple of days will be the first day of fall. Down here, fall, you know, we're still going to be in the 90s. So I don't know how much the fish are starting to transition right now, but the bite should be on if I can find them. So wish me luck, guys. Hang out with me. Let's see if we can make it happen. So guys, for about the last 30 minutes or so, I've been throwing a Rebel Popar. But I switched sides of the river. I was on that side of the river. I'm over here now. And I really kind of like this in my head. So like right now I'm sitting in 13 feet of water, but I'm throwing up into about 4 feet of water, and it's no more than say 30 yards from me. So that means there's some pretty good drop-offs in here. So I'm going to try throwing up into some of these weeds, and I switched the lure up so I'm not dealing with treble hooks. And this is a brand new lure. I've never thrown this before. This is a Z-Man popper. I think it's called a pop shad. I like that I can rig it up weedless, soft plastic. Of course, you know, the Z-Man Elastec is very durable. So I'm hoping to be able to throw it up in some of these stick-up weeds and these bunches of grass and pull it through there and maybe see if I can't get something. I love the fact that I'm right by what you would call maybe a Bass Highway RCO, and that I've got this deeper water right here that transitions real quick into some more shallow water. So hopefully I can find them sitting, if they're not in the shallow, maybe as I'm bringing it back and I'm crossing into some deeper water, maybe I can bring something up. I don't know. I told you I sucked. So my initial thoughts on the pop and shad from Z-Man is that I do not like it. It does not have great action on the water. Even though it's got that tougher Elastec material, it doesn't seem to stay put. It wants to lay on its side sometimes when you're bringing it in. It's a very heavy bait, but that's not really the issue. The issue is it doesn't really have great action at all. I took it off the hook and put it back on in different spots to try to rig it up differently to see if I could get some better action. wasn't happening. So I'm going to go to a toad, because again, I want to stay kind of weedless. So I'm going to go to this bluegill colored horny toad and see if I can get something bit with that. The Z-Man, I'm going to practice around with it a little bit, I guess, some other time. But as of right now, I'm not very impressed at all with that poppin' shad. Well, guys, I am back on the water. It's 2 days later, and this time I've got the trolling motor. So the one thing that I learned from my scouting a couple of days ago is that this is an absolutely massive system of water through here. And looking at it on a map just doesn't do it justice. But this is an incredible amount of water. And I believe that in order for me to have the best chance at doing well in the tournament coming up next week, is that I'm going to have to cover more water. And that was tough to do with the pedal unit, tide moving out, current coming down. And so, not that the motor is any faster. In all honesty, I can pedal as fast as I can motor. The difference is that I don't have to exert nearly as much energy with this motor to cover the kind of distance that I'm going to cover. So what I'm thinking is, guys, is that I'm going to go about an hour, maybe 45 minutes to an hour north to get into some fresher water. I really do believe that I have to put myself in a position to get to where the fish are. Now, typically that flies in the face of my approach when it comes to tournament fishing. I try to make sure I'm making a cast that exactly lines in. But that's not going to do a whole lot of good if you're casting in the spots where the fish are not, or there's a lower probability of the fish being there. So I'm going to be willing to give up 30 to 45 minutes of fishing time in order to get to where I believe the fish are going to be. So I'm doing that run today. I'm kind of timing it to see exactly how long it is going to take me to get to my starting spot, where I want to get started at. Just to see what I'm going to be faced with. And I want to know the navigation route as well. I can look at it on a map, and that gives me a pretty good idea, but until you're actually here and on the water, you don't know for sure exactly how that navigation is going to work out. What's the water depth? What's the obstacles that you might be facing? And, a lot of that transiting that I'm going to have to do on tournament day is going to be in the dark. So I really want to get a feel for exactly how I'm going to navigate to my starting spot. I truly believe that this is going to be a tough tournament. There may only be a couple of people who weigh in a limit. And so if I can be one of those people, I can put myself in a position to potentially win. And the way I'm going to try to do that is I'm going to try to get to where I believe the fish are. Well, y'all, I have grossly underestimated how long it was going to take me to make that run. And at this point in time, this is the benefits of scouting. At this point in time, I have decided that I am not going to make that run. I missed it. I missed it by a lot. And so I just can't give up 2 hours of fishing. And that was just one direction. If I have to fish my way back into water that I don't believe is going to be plentiful of bass, then I'm making a 2 hour run, for just maybe 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4 hours of fishing. And then I've really got to just make a run back. And so I have decided, ooh, big old grass patch. So I have decided that I've got some spots that I have kind of looked at along the way that might be promising. I've decided that I'm going to try to spend a little time here and see what I can make happen. I just this is not, well, I can't say that for sure, but this doesn't appear as though it's going to be a very fun tournament. This is going to be a grinder. And I think finding fish is going to be really difficult, but I've got some spots here I'm going to try and see what I can do. So look, check it out next week. I'm going to obviously make a video. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Let's see how I do. Let's see what I'm able to find, if anything, and follow along. this is going to be tough. This is some different water, but this is what we do this for, right? I mean, you can't always play on your home field. Sometimes you got to play an away game, and it's an unfriendly atmosphere, and I think that's what we're looking at here. Guys, I appreciate you watching. Thank you very, very much. Do me a favor and like this video if you would. I like every video I watch because it's just the nice neighborly thing to do. And then, hey, look, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know your experience in fishing for bass in brackish water. I don't have much experience with it. Let me know your techniques. Let me know your thoughts on what you look for when you do it. If you've got experience, I would very much appreciate that. Share this video as well. We are growing the channel. We're this close to 900. And of course, from there, we got to get to that elusive 1,000 goal. Guys, thanks again for watching. I appreciate you. And hey, look, no matter what you've got going on in your life, always make sure you take some time to get outside and play.
Got him.
I'll be damned. It is a bass. I'll be damned.